Welcome to another episode of Chats with Vlad. Episode 14. Boys and girls, I had dreams last night. I had dreams that you wouldn't believe. Ones that brought me a new look in life. You see, yesterday, before we all went to bed, we were talking about portals to hell and other places. Well, you see, I did some research and I did a little bit of digging, and you wouldn't even believe what I found. You see, boys and girls, there's things on this earth called ley lines. They're areas where extreme natural power shifts through the earth. Some people in the past have tried harnessing these. I believe that these ley lines are something completely different. I believe they might be a pathway to another dimension. In the dreams that I had last night, boys and girls, oh, those were some wonderful dreams. The places that I went, the things that I saw, they were exquisite. They're within our grasp. We just have to try to get there. Let me tell you something. There's a movie, but it's more than a movie. It's actually a way of life for a lot of people. Let me introduce you to a saying. There it is. As above, so below. You see, boys and girls, what that means is that as things are here down on earth, as they are in heaven, that's one way many people have taken it. Other people have taken it to mean something a little bit different. Like maybe it's a dimensional portal to a parallel universe, a doorway through the thinnest of membranes. Oh yes. Just imagine if you could go from one universe, one world, where things and rules and laws applied here, but then you could go to a completely different world, and all you'd have to do is get past that membrane and you could reach that other world. And you see, boys and girls, there are spots like this on Earth. In the movie, As Above, So Below, it dealt with the catacombs in Paris. You see, boys and girls, a lot of people go to Paris. They go for the Eiffel Tower. They go for the Louvre. They go for all the artwork and all the scenery and the people. The French bread and the croissants. You know you like it. Remind me later on to tell a French joke. But little do people know that buried underneath them are millions and millions of bodies. You see, the catacombs have a funny history. During the Black Plague, so many people died in Europe, they didn't know what to do with all the bodies. So they started making mass graves. Unfortunately, a little thing called corpse wax started coming up from where all these bodies were, because unfortunately they'd put them in places where it wasn't possible for them to decay properly like Mother Nature wants. No. So this corpse wax came up and the good people of Paris couldn't have that. No. So they'd had a lot of iron ore mines from previous millennia. They used those. And they started stuffing corpses anywhere they could. Some even got artsy with it. You can take tours all the time. But see, this, boys and girls, is where I start telling you things that you may not have known. Like, for one thing, the entrance that they use in that movie, As Above, So Below, is actually a real entrance. I looked it up. I've seen it with my own red eyes. That's one thing. For another thing, there are actually tunnels down there that have not been explored. And, boys and girls, you remember those ley lines I was referring to earlier? One goes right through it. What a coincidence. I wonder what that could mean. Yes. Yes, indeed. You see, there are riddles and puzzles all over this earth. Things we have yet to even contemplate, things we don't even know about. People finding gears and weird objects from 2, 3, 4,000 years ago. Things that weren't even invented by our people until like the 1700s, I think. At least not complicated ones like Swiss clocks. Cool. Yes. But I'm getting away from myself here. So much more to discuss. So we have the catacombs to think about. Look it up. You're watching YouTube right now. You can find a lot on YouTube. Anyway, there's a place in Kansas that I visited once. There's a little college town called Lawrence, Kansas. It was pretty cool. Anything you wanted, you could walk to within 45 minutes. And you see, there's a place only 15 minutes from Lawrence. A place called Stall, Kansas. And strangely enough, in Stall, Kansas, there's another ley line that goes through that area. Now then, there's a lot of rumors about Stall, but I'll tell you one thing right now. If you're thinking about going there, you better think again. Because not only the local police, but the local citizens don't like people. You know those horror movies where you see the town and they're all working against you and they're trying to get you the fuck out? This is that place, for real. And here's another fun little fact that you might find interesting. Many debunkers have gone to Stall, Kansas, and they've tried debunking some of the myths. They couldn't do it. Not then and not now. Out of all the things that are debunked nowadays, this is one of the ones that stands strong. Unfortunately, the church didn't. It was bulldozed down without the owner's permission in an attempt to stop certain rites and rituals that would happen twice a year on equinoxes. Oh, yes. You see, it was said that twice a year on the equinox, that a stairwell would appear by the church. Now it's outside the church, so I don't think the stairwell is affected. But this stairway would go down and down and down forever, impossibly down. Some people never returned. Others said it took them hours to get back. Now these stairs only appear, like I said, on All Hallows Eve and on the spring equinox. It's said that this is the seventh gateway to hell. Yes. Very interesting indeed. It was said that when the church was still standing, even though it had no roof, when it rained, not a single drop of rain would ever enter the church. There was only a certain amount of windows that were there when you went in. I think they said there was 7 windows. But on the equinox, an 8th one would appear. And don't let me even start talking about the tree where they hung the witch. Or the devil baby. Or was that a werewolf baby lycanthropy? It's such a messy thing. Oh yes. And then there's the soul of the girl that tries to go, and then I think there's even a nun. So much history. So much evil. And then there's the tunnel in Pennsylvania. Oh yes. And there's another property where there's several gates that you have to go through in order to get to the gateway in hell. There's ley lines and there's weak points in our reality everywhere, boys and girls. Now you might be saying to yourself, well, Vlad, this all sounds very theoretical. True. But I want you to think about this. Out of all the things that were theoretical, flying was theoretical. Space travel and a trip to the moon was theoretical. Nuclear bombs and bullets were theoretical. And cheese whiz, processed cheese, these were all theoretical. Think about what we need to do to get out into space, what we're trying to do right now, NASA, in the Air Force, and so many other people around the world, SpaceX, and on and on. It's all theoretical. So, let me ask you this, boys and girls. What do you think about portal, travel, gateway to hell, or possibly gateway to another dimension? Oh yes, it could be a new life, or it could be the end of everything you've known. Think about it.